My relationships are absolutely great because I have none. Therefore, there are no problems.
What was I gonna ask you? I don't know. I don't even know anything exceptional that happened. Like frustrated.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of the Exceptions Podcast.
Hey. I'm frustrated.
It's Fenmore and Jess. And yeah, welcome to this episode. Today, we're going to talk about whatever we're going to talk about, apparently. So let's get into it.
Let's have fun out there.
So, starting off with something exceptional, Jess is trying to think of one, but I have mine, which is Blackpink in your area. Blackpink is a Korean girl group, and if you don't know anything about K-pop, you probably know Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Blackpink just released their album called The Album. They're not probably, they are the biggest girl group in the entire world. And so in just that sense, they're exceptional. But in general, I just want to talk about the exceptional aspect of K-pop. So if you don't know much about the K-pop industry, how it works is over here in North America, we have this model where an artist like myself wants to be successful. So we go at it on our own and we try to get our own fans and we do our own work and we write our own music and we work really hard. And then if a company sees us, they'll pick us up as an artist and we work with them. Whereas in Korea, the companies actually go scout out talent and then they train the talent in-house for like a couple of years. It can be anywhere from a year to 10 years where they train, and they train in everything from singing to dancing to rapping to different languages. It's absolutely crazy. It's such an intense regime. These K-pop trainees work so hard. If you've ever seen any documentaries, they put in exceptional amounts of hours. Like some of them are still in high school, so they still go to school and then they train till like 1 a.m. and then they go to school and begin at 7 o'clock in the morning, like the same day.
Holy.
Also, it's almost like a survival show because the company picks you up, but they don't guarantee that you will debut. So you could be training for 5 years and they're like, sorry, it's not working out.
Wow.
And you're just left out on the street.
Where'd you learn this? Documentaries?
Yeah, just being like K-pop industry YouTube, just Google it.
No, I love it.
Blackpink has 4 members, but apparently they started out with 9. So just to think about like those people that were cut off and like their own lives and where that's going. Yeah. I know one of the members, Jisoo, was saying, don't be scared of people who are naturally talented. Be scared of people who work the hardest. Because those are people that will make it in the end.
Yeah.
And I found that very kind of inspiring.
Yeah, it's funny how like rewarded and like valued talent is, just natural talent. But like that person didn't have to work for it if it was just natural talent. It's like all the other stuff around it, like what they do with their talent and, you know, the hard work that probably has a lot more like real value in that person's life.
No, this is why Madonna is, I think, do you know who Madonna is?
Yes. Sorry, who doesn't know who Madonna is? Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't, but
you know, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they have no idea. The thing about Madonna, though, that is really well respected is the fact that she's not the greatest singer, and she knows that. But she works so hard, from what I've heard, and that she also is really smart in her business ways. You know those great singers that go on those singing shows, but you never hear of them ever again, like American Idol of The Voice, like they disappear. And it's because it takes way more than just being talented to be successful.
Right.
I remember the story of, this is just going to be like me talking about music stories, but
great.
Rihanna. I know you love Rihanna.
Oh, Rihanna. That's my exceptional thing.
Rihanna and Beyonce. So when Rihanna was just starting out, she was going head to head with this girl called Tamara, I think. They were in the same company and they had the same kind of vibe, the same kind of branding. And the company executive, L.A. Reid, was trying to push the other girl, Tamara, more because they're like, oh, she's got more. She was American. She had everything going for her. But then L.A. Reid talked to Beyonce, or Beyonce approached L.A. Reid, and she was like, that Rihanna girl, she's a beast. And that kind of switched L.A. Reid's mind about Rihanna because he was like, oh, well, if Beyonce thinks Rihanna's a beast, and I'm assuming this meant that Rihanna worked her butt off, because I'm sure she did, like worked
You can
really
tell
hard,
now.
and Beyonce obviously would appreciate that, like you worked your butt off. And so that was interesting, because I would say they were both equally talented, Rihanna and Tamara, but it's when other people see how hard you work, it's like shifts their mindset about you a little bit. But anyways, I triggered an exceptional thing in your mind about Rihanna.
I watched the Savage Fenty lingerie fashion show, which is Rihanna's lingerie brand. And it was pretty cool. I watched it last year, and I thought it was conveniently perfect that last year was also the first year that the Victoria's Secret fashion show was not a thing. And then here comes Savage, which just like blows the roof off the industry and just made us all realize how cookie cutter, like one body size, like just not inclusive, not body positive, whatever you want to call it, Victoria's Secret was. And we got a pretty good replacement, I would say. And I think just Rihanna herself is exceptional.
Yeah,
The shit that she has accomplished, I tell you, I'll even forgive her for not releasing music for like the last 4 years.
Listen, a whole high school generation has grown up without Rihanna music. It's tragic. Do you write 50 pages?
50 pages? No, I said I would write 20 pages.
You said you'd write 50 pages.
I said I had 50 pages and I was going to get to
Fenmore,
70 pages.
Editor
Put it in.
Fenmore, put it in. If I'm wrong, editor Fenmore, don't put it in. There we go.
Nothing to see here, please.
Either way, I didn't do it. So
why?
Because I was stressed. That's my excuse.
What was your stress about?
Oh man, let's talk about it. How do you deal with the balance between stress from work? So even if I like get stressed out at work and then I can come home at the end of the day, I still feel like I have it's just in my mind still, even if I've left work, right. And then I carry that with me. So I can't I tell myself that I can't like go in with a clear mind to a creative mode. And then I would rather do things that are just more like numbing practices, which is just,
yeah, I understand that.
Not helpful, but.
Do you have cleansing routines? So like a reset routine, do you just take a shower? Do you meditate? Do you just write everything down in a journal and then like, okay, this is a new section of the day. Do you do anything like that? Or do you just go like,
I think I do that kind of stuff in the morning to set it off.
We're not talking about the morning. We're talking about after work.
No, I don't.
So maybe try that.
Yeah.
Take a nap. Take a 30-minute nap.
Yeah.
Take a shower. Pretend like you're just starting the day again.
Yeah, good call. Because I will tell myself that like I can't switch gears because I didn't like. I feel like I have when I'm in a messy place, that's kind of what it feels like. It's like my brain feels messy. All my to-dos from work are just kind of like half finished or all over the place or not documented. My house gets messy. It's just like this messy feeling, right?
Right.
So that's a good call. And
here's the thing though, are you good at compartmentalizing? So no. You say, okay, there's nothing I can do about this situation right now. I'm just going to put this in that box over there really quick in my head and then move on to something else. And then when I have the time, I'll set the time aside to go and worry about that other thing if I have something to do about it. But if you get home and you're still worrying about work, like, is there anything you can do at home? Or just worry about it?
Well, I work from home, so the boundaries are quite blurred.
But do you at least set a time up for like, this is the time I'm going to work at home?
Yeah. Like I know what is ideal and I know what I should be doing.
Okay, then what's your problem?
Exactly. Tell me what my problem is.
Your problem is you're not following through. You just got to follow through with that then.
Yeah, no, because I'm the kind of person who will like not say write my case notes in my work day. So then I will like want to wrap them up on Friday evening
They're so
or on
annoying.
Saturday. What's that?
Those are so annoying. I've had to do case notes,
I
and
hate
I
it.
always hate procrastinating because then I have to like, what did we do that day?
Then you have to remember like the
It's a problem.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I would rather just do that. And then I'm pushing into my weekend and from my creative work. So to answer your question, no, I suck at compartmentalizing. I really I feel like I just need this clean slate all the time, but that's not a thing.
Never
It's
gonna
just
be
not
a
a
thing.
thing. No, it's the same as like perfectionism. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the same as
And
living in a little state of delusion. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
you got to be like real about it. Like, what is never going to happen? What is going to happen? And what can I do? And what can I do?
Yeah. And then there's this weird like playing balance of like, okay, I've assessed and become aware of the like propaganda that capitalist society pushes, like go, go, go. Like, I mean, usually it's like work for the men and whatever. So then I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But then on the other hand, it's like, so then I feel like I'm like owed my rest. But then when I'm resting in my spare time, I'm not doing my own thing. That's really more important to me. So, I mean, I think
Right.
everyone deserves rest, and that, if you are just pushing 24/7, you're going to burn out. But
For sure.
I do feel like me working on my creative work is, if I let it, the thing that will help me clean up that messy mind and be that outlet for me. But I kind of categorize it as like work in my mind too.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I heard somewhere that people who work really hard and burn out are not doing their passion, and people who work really hard and doing their passion don't really burn out. And I think there's definite truth in that. But I think also a missing component to that is passion is not necessarily something that just springs out of nowhere. Passion actually, if you remember, we had a conversation, I think 2 podcasts ago, you're saying, well, I read my notes again. I was starting to get really excited about everything. And you're like, oh, this is where we're going. This is what's happening. But that's because you made the decision to get in there and really start working again. And it's the same with any art or any sort of passion is when you stop doing it, it kind of wanes a little bit. Your passion for it wanes. But then when you get back into it, you remember why you love it. And then the passion kind of fuels itself. But you have to do that momentum work. It's kind of a momentum, but you have to like push it for a while up the hill until you get over on the other side. And I think that's the hard part.
Yeah, because then you get too disconnected from it if you leave it for too long. And there's a graph that I saw, and it was like, if you only work when you feel inspired, your kind of productivity on your creations is just going to be like, whew, and then it's just going to be a long line for a while, and then there's a spike, and then there's a long line and a spike. Versus if you are making it a daily practice to sit down and at least start, playing around with whatever it is you're creating, that you're going to find more of those spikes, and it's going to be more like up and down, up and down. More little spikes will come up day to day. And then when you do have big moments of inspiration, you're still there to catch it, but you're going to be more likely to come across new ideas. And something I found that does work is when you don't feel inspired to do like the thing you're working on or drawn to it, to do something else completely different, but that's still kind of creative, does have the power to spark that. So when I'm like having a hard time with writing because I feel I just overthink it in my head or whatever it is, if I can sit down and like paint, like I have canvases, I have paint, I have brushes all on the table all the time. It's just like there. I'm not a painter. Well, I am, but I'm not like in terms of I don't have a style or whatever, but just to even like do that physical thing that is something creative, that's like forcing your brain to just like make something that doesn't exist already, has like sparked me to want to write more
So
in
are
times in
you
the past.
great? So are you gonna implement these techniques this coming
Yeah.
week?
Yeah.
And next week you're gonna be.
It's always you telling me. It's always you giving me tips, so I got to provide some tips too. I have tips on tips. I just need to do them myself.
You need to show the
Take
people you're doing
my
it.
own advice.
Yeah, we can't just all be talk, Jess. We started this podcast because we wanted to not just be all talk,
Exactly.
but also be honest when we are just all talk.
Yes.
And we fail to do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. And let's be honest about that. Like that is like my biggest challenge, I think, is I get so caught up in the planning mode. Or I think it might also be like the fantasizing about my ideal life, career, personal success.
So you're visualizing
Yeah.
without the actionalizing.
Yeah, you need the action. I had like a coworker tell me once, she's like, yeah, you just get shit done. Like you're just a go-getter. And I was like, what? I was like, why can't I translate that into my personal life? Like someone outside of me can see that I can do that at work. So why, when it really matters, do I not do it? And I think it again comes back to like being held accountable.
Maybe there's still gaps in your knowledge about how to overcome yourself. Maybe you're just not applying all the knowledge you have yet to what you need to be doing.
Yeah, I'm just being a little bitch.
You said it, not me.
So what pushes you when you could just nap or go on TikTok for a couple hours or go on Instagram for a couple hours or watch Diana movies for a couple hours? What is your why? What is your driving force that keeps you going?
Well, there's a few things. First of all, of course, having a collaboration project. I have other people I'm collaborating with and they're wanting to hear the songs. They're like, where are the songs, my dude? I'm like, they're coming. So that's very an important thing. Another thing is I'm just excited for bringing this project to fruition. I think the difference perhaps is my project is more imminent. It's going to be coming out in less than 2 weeks. And it's going to start and it's going to like keep going. It's not going to stop for a while. So that's exciting. And yours is just a long-term project. It's hard to be consistently excited for a long-term project, especially when you're not really quite sure where you're going to be going. So I think that's another factor that's different. I've also just stopped BSing myself about a lot of things. I decide to not do work. I don't try to justify it. I'm like, you're just deciding to be lazy, aren't you? We're like, yeah. And then most of the time I just tell myself to stop it and just do what I need to do. Yeah, so those are the few things, like collaborating with people, having a deadline, having something imminent so that I know it's going to happen soon, and then stop BSing yourself about what you're actually doing. You know what also changed my mind? I don't find anything else that much more interesting than actually doing music.
That's good. That's like, a good sign.
This is way more interesting for me to create something than to consume something, because most of the time I've seen it all and I'm like, oh, well, I could go do something.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's different from person to person, or if that's just like, because I think about that for me, and then I'm like, well, why isn't the pull there all the time? Does that mean I don't really like it? Does that mean it's not really my thing? But I mean, all these addictive social media things, they're not my thing, but they take up all of my time, right? And once I really get into the good stuff, the good creative flow, I know it is. So...
Well, talking about that, our sponsor for the week is my broken glasses.
Oh no.
Look at how broken they are. They're really broken. If you're listening to the podcast version, my glasses are broken.
Fenmore's glasses have gotten him a lot of clout over the months.
It was literally one video. That was it. Went viral on TikTok once over glasses. But I'm so sad about it because these are my favorite glasses. Oh, mother. All right.
Spectacles.
So this week, Jessie.
Excuse me. Oh.
Hey, Jessie. Hey, Jessie.
No, not down for that.
So what are you going to do this week to
Hmm.
change the game for yourself? That this won't happen again. What are you implementing?
You know what? I've done this before and it worked for a while. And it was writing out what my top 4 priorities are in life, breaking that down into what they are, what those can be in a daily activity, and then not using social media, YouTube, Netflix, etc., unless I have done at least 10 minutes of all 4 of those things. It always ends up being more, but just by saying 10 minutes, it helps to get the ball rolling. And those things for me are like some form of exercise, some form of mindfulness, like meditation, whatever it is, writing, and reading. And I might take reading out of there just because let's focus on the other ones for now.
So I think what we really need to do too, though, for you as your therapist is I think we need to at least have 30 days of the nonstop writing for at least even 5 minutes a day.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you need to start getting the habit. And honestly, 30 days is not even enough. Usually it's about 60 to 90 days. But let's say for 30 days, you have to just write for 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Because we cannot be having weeks on and weeks off because we're not going to get anywhere. Are we understanding this?
Yes. Thank you.
Great. So everyone listening, watching,
Are we
this girl here who wants to be a writer just needs to write.
Doesn't write.
If you want to be a writer, I have this really deep quote. If you want to be a writer, write.
Right.
Right.
Right?
So 30 days, even for 5 minutes, you're going to get on that computer, you're going to write.
Okay. This is a different kind of podcast.
This is not the Exceptions podcast anymore. This is Jess Goes to Therapy with Fenmore.
Creative therapy. I love it.
I'm actually a life coach.
If at the end of the 30 days I haven't written every day, I have to give up my goal. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, sure. Let's go to that extreme.
No, because I wouldn't do it.
That's the thing.
Okay. So what do I get to therapize you about next time?
Absolutely nothing. I'm perfect. I am whole. My relationships are absolutely great because I have none. Therefore, there are no problems.
Oh.
My attachment style is non-existent because
there we go.
There's no one to attach to. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, we have talked way too much for way too long. We're going to leave you guys. So we're very sorry about this week that Jess has failed to do what she...
But she was honest about it at least.
She was supposed to write 20 pages, people. She not like... I know it's funny, like, as you're listening to this or you're watching this, or like, even as we're doing it, like, these small things seem really inconsequential. But at the end of the day, it's like the small habits that make the human being, and it's the human being that makes their life. So it all counts and all matters.
Yeah, it plays into your feeling of congruency. If I don't feel congruent if I have this dream and I say that this is my priority, but I don't do it on a daily basis.
And you align yourself. Yes.
Yeah. That creates some self-worth and self-identity issues. And there's an easy way to fix that, which is revamping your priorities and how you spend your time and your daily habits.
Yes. Always dream big, but live in reality, people. That's how it is.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Remember, have fun out there.
Folks.
And remember, have fun out there. Would you stop interrupting me when I'm doing the outro? I remember, have fun out there.